Hello future tech leaders, I am Sindhuja. Based on my own experience, I know that learning the right skills can shape our future. What if I say learning was as thrilled as the tech world itself? There we go. A CloudFoundation, that's exactly what you will experience. From day one, you will be immersed in the interactive sessions and expert-led courses that covers most of the widely used technologies in the zone of data science to cloud computing, which brings more light to the life of a techie. I'm so excited to help you and unlock the true potential of a technology. Well, then why to wait? Let's see what it unfolds.
And we are going to cover all these things that we will finalize our care insurance case type. And we will also finalize the stages, processes and steps. And we will try to add some instruction to the assignments. And we will see how we can update the case status. Then we will see how we can create the views from the case designer. And what is an SL, like the service level agreements. And we will also create some classes like we have classes in Java. Like we can create methods, functions, and we will see the configuration in PEGA. And we can see work list and work basket. Before we start, any questions from the previous session? No questions. Did you get a chance to see after that case lifecycle, have you created anything? If I did what? You created any case type? Honestly, I did not. No problem. We can start with this case lifecycle then. In the last session, we have decided that we are going to set these 3 stages and one alternate stage, that is for the rejection. In the first capture details, we are going to collect 2 kinds of entries. First one is the personal detail and second one is the type of insurance that the customer want to select. That's why we have 1 stage, 1 process and 2 steps. Now in the credit check stage, we are creating a process known as review and submit detail. Inside that we have one assignment to review, detail. Now in the third stage, we have approve and reject. Here we have the same process approval and the reject and one approval assignment. If the case is approved, then we can say it is completed. But if it is rejected, then the case will be moved to this alternate stage, which is a rejection. Inside rejection, we have rejection notification process in which we will send an email to notify the customer that your insurance request has been rejected. Now, you see there are 2 things now. This initial part, all these 3 stages known as the primary flow or the happy path. Happy path as in there won't be any alternate stages or any breaks in the primary flow, that we call it as a happy path. But if we are deviating from the primary flow to achieve a certain task, then we call it as an alternate flow. That is this one. Because there is a one condition here in the approval that if it is rejected, then we will come to the rejection stage. This is an alternate stage. Now, if you see, I have added 2 things in these stages: status and instruction. What is the status? Status basically reflects the progress of the task. And instruction help users to understand what needs to be done in that assignment or what kind of details they have to enter in that assignment. Status you can understand this way. Again, I will take an example of e-commerce. Suppose when we are in the Amazon and we ordered something, right? Suppose we selected the product, we went to the addresses, we select the address and then we came to the payments. But now we are not doing the payment. What the status is there? Pending payments, right? You can see payment is pending. I hope you remember that part. You can check. And that status you can see like pending payment or pending order fulfillment. All these are status that will reflect the current progress of the task. Similarly, instruction is. It will help you to understand what needs to be done. For example, if I'm in the personal detail, right, there are a lot of fields. First name, last name, or maybe something extra which might not be relevant to the end user. We can add some instruction that user can understand what they have to fail. This is about status and instruction. And now we'll see how can we add this into our KC life cycle. Let's jump to our board. This is our KC life cycle that we designed in the last session. Now I will go to this case detail once. Let's see what are the options we have. If you see, when I clicked on this stage, I got one pop-up here. What it says, the create stage automatically moved to the next stage. That means if I will submit the case from this screen, it will automatically go back to the credit check. It's an automatic transition. And now there is option set case status on stage entry. Then suppose I'll give the status pending details. Now if I click on the credit check, now you can see we have more options. Usually in all the first stages you have the option that you can only enter the status. Because it is at first stage, we have to make an automatic transition to the second stage. But in the second stage, we can have multiple options like automatically move to the next stage, or if you want to wait for a user action, or if you want to resolve the case. Again, we want to automatically move to the next stage. Case status will make this time as pending credit check. Now for the approval. Again, we have the same three options. And this time we will make the status as pending approval. I'll save it. And let's create one case. Let's see how it comes. I click on save and run. This is the first case which we are creating for our care insurance case type. Let's see how we are flowing through the stages, how steps will come. There we can check the status, part and instruction. Let's see how we are doing. Let's see. You see this panel. The case it is I1. This is where I is an identifier, which always be constant for the insurance case type. It is decided by the PEGA itself. Whenever we create a case type, this identifier is given by PEGA. Then this is the incremental value. The more cases you will create, the number will increase the same way. You can see priority. Like in the Jira, we have the Jira ticket levels. Right. We can increase the priority complexity by increasing the numbers. That same thing is there. That is 10 for now. You can see the status is pending details. From where it is coming? It is coming from this. As you can see, it is giving set cases. Case status on stage entry. That means we are entering into the stage. And that's why status is coming as pending details. Who created the case? Harsher about a minute ago. And updated about a minute ago. Right. That's it. You can see now we are in the collect detail. If I advance to this case, personal detail. Inside collect detail, we are in the personal detail. If I advance, now I am in the insurance detail. You can see we are in the insurance detail. If I advance this case again, you can see there is check mark on the collect detail stage. That means this one is completed. Now I am in credit check. Inside credit check, we have a step known as verify details. Let's verify. Inside credit check, we have verify details. All these are empty because we have not configured any field. No input is there. No output is there. No output is there. These are just empty forms. As now, we are just verifying how the flow will work. Verify detail is there. Now again I do. Advance to this case. Now we are in the approvals. You see in the approval, we have only one assignment. It is approval. Again we have two options. Check, approve. If I approve, the case will be completed. Let's say I approved it. You see it is done. Approval is done. This is how we create a case in PEGA. This is one way. One way is we can click on this save and run. Second is we can go to this create and we can go to new and insurance. Same thing. The priority, the status. You see the status will change. When we are in the credit check, it will show us pending credit check. When we are in the approval, it will show pending approval. See when I rejected, it went to approval rejection. That is our alternate stage. Any question in this flow? No questions. Let's open this process once. Let's open the collect details. Open process. These are the assignments or the steps. Let's open the personal details. Now you see the routing. Routing option is current operator. That means whoever logged in can enter the personal details. But suppose I have to create an assignment that needs to be operated by someone else. I have different options. I can either assign it to a different user. For example, approval. Right, approval. In this case, I want approval to be routed to you. The end user will create a case. They fill the details. But for the approval, it needs to be routed to someone else, a separate team, approver team. For that routing only, we have these options: operate, work queue, custom, and business logic. For now, let's keep it current operator. Once we will go to that routing topic, we will see more in detail. We would all see sometime. Then assignment detail. You see this option, instructions. Here we can write what we want to show to the user. These are the navigations or the tool specific that we have to remember to navigate smoothly in the application. I will save it. Let's go back. Let's refresh once and say, let's create one more case. You see, this instruction is coming here. Enter personal details. Similarly, it will come in insurance. Enter insurance detail. Where exactly this is coming from? From the instruction, which is configured inside a process, inside an assignment, and inside assignment details and instructions. This is it. Now we have to. This part is completed. Let's say the involved person or the operators. In our insurance case, there will be one customer user. There will be one credit check officer. And there will be one insurance approver. For example, the end user will create this case and they will give personal details and insurance details. This needs to be filled by the in. I will give back here. This is for end user. This one will be filled by the credit check user. And this one will be done by the Let's Manager, and it's an automatic step. Now it will flow like first end user will open the PEGA application. They will give their personal details, insurance details, and they will submit the case. Now we have a separate team that is a credit check team. Any person inside the credit check team can open the case and review and submit the details. They will review whatever the user has been like, what kind of assurance they need, what are the details, what is the age, what is the salary, and all to get the insurance. Now the manager will verify credit check comments and they will give the final approval. If it is approved, the insurance will be given to the end user. Otherwise, it will be rejected with the notify customer email. Total, there are 3 persons involved. Later on, we will configure all 3 users and we will also create and we will also see how the case is getting routed to these 3 teams. The next one, any questions still not answers? No questions. Now let's see what is the view. Mostly, we will focus on the terms like what are the different terms involved in PEGA application or in the PEGA as a platform. That once you will start creating a project, you will be able to understand it and you know where you can exactly find that option. What is the view? View refers to a PEGA application screen. That means when we create a case where we are checking, we are showing the status, where we are showing the instructions that we call as a view. And view is a low code name for section rule. Let me go to case 1. If I go to records, if I go to user interface, in the second session, I explained you, we have the rules and the rule type and user interface is a rule type. Inside user interface, we have a rule called section. Section is the thing which we usually show to the user. Like in the screen. For example, if I create this case, you see this thing. The personal detail step in insurance does not have a view defined. This view is nothing but the section rule. It's just for the App Store or for the App Studio. We call it as a view. But for the developers, we call it as a section rule. Because you see, there is nothing called view. View is not a rule here, right? View is just for the name. View is just for naming. But the backend name will be the section. Suppose if you want to create or configure any view for any step, you have to create a section rule. View section, both are same. It just we are calling it a different way. View is the low code option. Low code as in view. You can directly configure it from the case type. But section you can't. And in view you can. You have very limited options to do. But in section rule you can create very high level of UI. You can see in the case designer it's a view and the backend it's section rule. And we can create different types of views and reuse them. And there are 3 types of views. Create, edit and review. Usually 3 types of operations are happening in a case. Right. Either the end user is creating something. They are entering the details. Right. Either they are editing or modifying the existing details. Or someone or a third party or the approver is reviewing those details. That's why we have the 3 types. Create, edit and review. Let's see. I'll go to this one. I refresh. First one is create insurance content, insurance list. Now in the case type, you see we have a tab called views. I'll come to this one. You see case description, personal detail. That means personal detail is created by default because I created this one. Usually PEGA by default create these case disks like the views with respect to the stage name or the step names. And with the new PEGA version, PEGA is integrating with the chat tape to create these views for us. Let's try. Select views from view list and launch generator again. It is not at all working. We'll manually add it. For example, personal details. Right. This is one option to open the view. Like you can open the view from here. For example, if I click, it will open label and description. Two fields are there. Suppose I want to open from here. Click on Personal Details. You see Configure View and Configure View. You see? Nothing is coming here. That's why the form is coming as empty. For testing, I am just adding one field. We will see this thing more in detail in the data model. For example, I will keep first name. First name. First name. First name is created. I will submit. I will save now. Let's create one case. You see, first name is coming here. Under personal details, we are showing one instruction and a personal detail. We are showing status pending detail and we are giving a field for the end user to enter first name. Right, from where it is coming. It is coming from the section rule or the view. If I go to these sections again, you can see this one just now came. Personal detail, this one is updated. Today's date. If I go to you again, you see this one. Personal details. A minute ago, this one was created. If you modify anything, it will be modified into the view, into the section. Alright Francis, any doubt? The next section, we have to configure email. Let's go to our board. Let's see the SLA now. SLA, basically known as the Service Level Agreement. Let's go to the SLA now. I'll take that example. Suppose whenever a ticket is created, suppose a developer created a ticket for some access right. They want some tool access and they created a case. By the time the ticket is created, there is a default timeline assigned to the zero ticket, for example, 4 days. That 4 days in PEGA, we call it as a goal. That means the particular task should be completed till then. Right. After that, we can assign that particular ticket to a team. For example, let's say we need a SQL access right. We'll assign it to the Microsoft SQL team. Once it is routed to that SQL team, they start working on it and they will update the ticket status. And suppose they are not able to complete it in 4 days. Right. That means we have to update the priority of that particular ticket. Once we exceed the goal time, that is 4 days, it will be deadline now. Suppose deadline is 6 days. 4 days are goal time, 6 days are deadline time. Even if it is not resolved in 6 days, that means we pass the deadline and then we have to send the emails. Right? Suppose, for example, goal is 8 days. Your Jira ticket needs to complete it within 8 days. That is a kind of happy path again. But suppose, due to something the team was not able to complete it in 8 days. After 8, the day we have to send an escalation email because we are in the deadline now. Escalation email. We can send it to anyone with the manager or directors, board members, anyone as per the complexity of the priority. Suppose after deadline also it is not done. Then once we are in the past deadline, we will send a deadline email every second day to the higher management, which is a follow-up interval. We will send email again and again to the time ticket is resolved, completed. This is basically a time-bound process where SLA will enforce us that the process should be completed in a timely way. And what process we are talking about here is the case basically. Because when an end user is creating a case, we need some SL, that all these stages, all these steps, all the approval should be done in a timely manner. Alright. Now we will see where we can add these SLAs. Till now we got it. What is an SLA exactly? There are 3 types of SL we can do. First, SLA is, as I mentioned here, we can add it in the case, type, step and process. Majorly, we add SLA on the case type and steps. Let's see how we can add. In the case type, we have the settings. Let's go to settings. If you come down, you will see an option known as goal and deadline. I click on this one. You see, inside the goal and deadline, we have defined the suggested and required resolution time for a case. Use. Currently, it's never. That's why it really doesn't matter if I create a case and if I will open after a year also, the case will be there. Suppose I have to use an SLA. Now I have 2 options, custom SLA or existing. I will create a custom. Options are not coming. Fire? What deadline? Custom? Yes, calculate time from start of this case, right? We'll use this case because we have only one case type. We'll start this case now. What is the goal? Let's say our goal is 2 days. That means your whole case end to end with approval, with the credit check, with the end user details. Everything should be completed in 2 days. Suppose once goal is done, what we can do? We can modify creators of the participants. If you select any of the one, you can give those details like default messages there, which PEGA provides. If you want to compose a separate message or you want to send an email, then you can do this. But I'll keep on like this. We're not going to notify anyone. Suppose after 2 days, we have a deadline of 3 days and we increase the urgency by number 40. Suppose what will happen once the deadline is reached? We will often notify participants, but as of now, we have not created any member, right? We have a credit check team, we have a manager team. Those are not created. It will not send email to anyone. But what we understood is we have a goal which is for 2 days, which somehow manages to keep the case created and completed in the 2 days. But if it is not completed in 2 days, we have a deadline of 3 days. And you see that past deadline option is not there, right? That means you can't configure the past deadline directly from the case type. We have to open the SLA rule. See how this validation is working. If I selected participant but I'm not adding anything, and if I'm trying to save it, it is giving me error. Error, right? The following errors were for no participant selected to be notified. I can unselect this one. I can say let's see a SLA. This is a part of our we directly got an option here. If you see open SLA, by the time it is created, it is giving us an option to create open. This is the back end rule. It is a SLA rule. The name is P by case type default. Whenever you create any SLA for the case type, the name will be same. That is P by case type default because it is a case type default SLA. Here you can see I have provided 2 days. 2 days is coming as goal. I gave 3 days as deadline. 3 days is coming as deadline and I increase urgency to 40 instead of 10. Now here we have the past deadline option. You see, limit past deadline event to 1 day. After 3 days, every next day will increase the urgency by 10, and if you want any action, you have this option here, select action, what action you want. Apply data, transform, call flow, advance flow, notify assignee, notify manager, notify party if you want to transfer that case to someone else. These are many options Tiger will provide. I will save. Even if you want to search, you can simply copy and you can search here also. This is a global search. You see it is coming. Which one is ours? Insurance. This one Care Life Care app of insurance. We have seen what is an SLA, how we can add it inside a case type. If I give you a quick walkthrough again, in the case type app, we have to go to settings, then we have to go to polls and deadline. And if you want to create a custom, then we can create custom. If you want to select existing one, then we can select existing and give the name. Now how we can add inside a step. When you click on anything, personal detail, insurance detail, we have this option. Goals and deadline. Right, because in the case type we have added as L, A for whole case life cycle. That means for all process. But suppose I want collect. Detail should be done in 1 day, right? This time I will show you how to use a custom one. I will go to the recent, I will create, I will open this one, I will save as, or we can go to this actions we can create. Anyway, we can do. I will do a save as. This is our recording. This is our recording. The word form whenever we create a rule. This will be always same. Always you will have one label option. Always you will have an identifier option. Always you will get one context box in which you have to select the application, the class, the rule set. Right. I am not going deep for now. Once we go to the class configuration, once we understand that, then these things will make more sense. But for now, I will just give something like, because for now it might be difficult for you to understand where we are creating the rule and why. Suppose I gave this name as personal detail. You see new cells created, personal detail. Now I can give something like, because I saved as the same details were coming, same details were coming. I can select, I will save it and you put instance. Now in personal detail, I will use existing because I created already. I will come down. I will drop down here. You see personal detail. This one is coming. I can select, and if you want to open, you can open from this crosshair icon. It is opening the same thing. It just either you can create it from the category itself and then you can add it as existing cells, or you can select a custom one and then you can add a value, and as soon as you add the value, PEGA will be created for you. Record is stale, we have to refresh. Let's save it once. Let's verify yes, changes are there. Now I will create one case and let's see where we can check if goal and deadline is in place or not. It is not showing in this top bar. Usually it shows, but if I do something either, I will make it 1 minute 10 seconds. This will also reduce to 10 seconds. No 50, save and run. Save and run. Let's hold on this particular screen for some time. Here we have options, history, tags, details. Let's do refresh. You see, here we have the options. Here to 23 hours from now. This is picking the initial one. That means it needs to be completed within 23 hours because one day we have provided in the last time, otherwise it will be escalated. You see this one, right? If I click open one more assignment now, you see do 1 day from now. One day I have gave for personal details, right? Personal details. Let's see workflow. Personal details lab. Let's open this lab. This one is 10 but it is not reflecting here. It is taking the previous one. But it will take the goal time here. Close this one, close this one, close this one, close this one. Alright, this is about the SLA. We use an SLA. We have just now checked. Now let's see what we can do. Next is the class. Yes, the most important topic. We have to check now class and configurations. Before that, I want to show you one thing. Let's say this one. I will simply write one class here. That are you. You say it's a very simple Java application, Java class, basically. What we are doing is, you have a little like any knowledge in Java. For example, I am creating a class which is of name car, which contains two attributes. One is a model and one is a type. And this is the kind of a function I am using to break. That means it is a reusable class, right? Suppose anyone who is working on this part, they can add this class and they can pass the model and type. Correct. That means I can say class is a reusable component which can be extended as per the requirement. Correct. That's correct. Same way we have classes in PEGA. Let's see. Now we have to go to a day 1 to understand this more in detail. I'll show you from here also. You remember, right? I explained you. We have 3 layers: organization layer, which contain data class, int class. Inside application layer, we have work class, data class, int class. Now let's see how it will come. This is the format of the class. First is the organization, that is care dash, the application, that is live care app, then the work class. We have to go to the work class. That means all the cases which we are creating will be saved inside work class. You see, inside work, we have insurance, that is case type. If I will add one more case type, it will be addressed below here, below insurance. Whatever case type, cases we have created, you can see those details. You have to click on this leaf icon. You see, these are the cases that were created. And if you want to open the again, anyone, you can click anyone, it will be opened. And whoever will update, you will see the name here. You see SLA we have applied, right? SLA has updated this I7 case as the deadline is passed. You see, it is updated by created by Harsha but updated by agent. legend. Those things are coming here. But you understood right. We have one work class in which all the case types will come. The work class is nothing but organization application, then work keyword followed by insurance. Suppose if I give like a yes. Basically, this is a case type class. I'll note down this. This is an insurance class. If I remove all these three things, only till care, then what you are seeing, inside care you can see data is there, int is there, and one application is there. These are the things which PEGA will create whenever we create the application for the first time. Organization layer, we have data class, int class majorly. Same way data class, int class. In the organization, this is a framework class that PEGA will create for us. If you want to reuse it for some reusable codes, then we can use this one. Otherwise, it is not required. Then inside our care, we have created one application that is live care app. This. If I expand, you can see inside the application. Inside application, we have work data int. We have data int work. These are major classes. Again, PEGA create this one for some specific purpose. But that is out of scope for now. You can ignore these two. For now, we can understand. There will be two major classes inside organization layer. That is data and int. And one application, because we already created one application. And inside application, we have three classes. Data it and work. This might be a bit complex to understand initially. Understand this enterprise class structure that we have created. All the rules which we are going to create will be created inside these classes only. The data type or the data model or the properties, the fields which user will enter right. Those will go inside data. Integration rules will be created inside int rule set. Or the work related rules like the case. The case related rules will be created inside the work. Any questions till now? I can understand that you might be having some confusions maybe. If I expand any of this, it will show you the, for example, inside work. We are showing insurance. Because inside the life care application, we have only one case type, that is insurance. This one. That's why one case type is coming here. And if you expand this one, you see the rule types. Data model is one property of the categories again. First name we created, you remember right, in the views. In the view we have added first name. In the backend, PEGA created a first name field for us. Now let's see the class ones. Class rule form. This is the class structure. Let me open the class rule form. This is a class rule form. Here you can see the ID is care, life care app, work insurance. And rule set is life care app. That means this is the rule that we are saving in this container. Life care app is a container where we will collect all the rules which we are creating. And we will use it for the deployments. We are saving it in the Life Care app. Now select class type. You see, we have two types here. I can't change it because it is selected for the first time only. But one is concrete. Another one is the abstract class. Why concrete for this one is because for insurance we have to create instances. Right. What exactly instances? For example, I showed you this one. These cases, right? These are instances. I2 tree. If we have to create instance, if you want to save the instance, then we have to go for the concrete class. If instance is not required, for example the integration class, then we can select abstract. Then create it in version is 001. We'll keep it like this only. This will come default. This belongs to a class group. Which class group? Care Life Care App Work. That means you see this insurance class belongs to which class? This one. Work dash. If I show you this one, you see this one belongs to. This one belongs to this one. It is like a chain. Insurance is not there in this layer, correct? That means this class rules can reuse rules from work dash. Then again it is a class group, but it points to the same class. I'll come back to the insurance again. Now, this belongs to a class group. Class group is already there. Then class inheritance. Now, very important topic of this PEGA. Like we have inheritance in Java or in any other language that we can use a methods or functions. We can create the function at once. We can create the class at once. For example, just now we've seen for the car. Similarly in PEGA, you can create your rule at any level. For example, I created the property first name in insurance class. But if I can create it in work dash, here it is accessible. If I created it at, or let's say at this level, directly in the application or in the organization, it can be accessible. But suppose if I create another case type known as HR department, they won't be able to use that property first name because they are not in this hierarchy. They will be parallel to insurance. Parallel application can share the data, but the child cases can inherit the data from the parent. Insurance is a child of work. Work is a child of Life Care app. Life Care is a child of care. This is a hierarchy which we are using. Same way, we will utilize the data also. Now, pattern inheritance means first it will check this class structure. For example, Care Life Care App Word. Let me open this one. I will open this one. Let's say whenever a rule is created, first it will try to find in this structure. Suppose the rule didn't exist at this level, then it will check at this level. If rule didn't exist at this level, then it will be checked at this level. And if it doesn't exist at application also, then it will be checked at the organization level. Since this was the pattern means. Pattern means it will go one by one back. First it will check in insurance, then work, then life care app, and then care. It's a pattern. Directed means whatever we give class here. That will be a direct. And the last one we have is a database table. You see, this class is linked to a database table. I'll test it. If you will test it, it will give you a name. You see, this class is mapped to the table PEGA data. Dot this in PEGA data database. It's a database. This particular class is linked to this one. Whatever you are creating, all these cases which we have seen just now, all these are stored inside that particular data table. These things are stored inside the table. This is a problem. It might be complex initially, but maybe you have to understand this again and again. And if you have any queries, we can again reiterate this class configuration in the next session. This is for a brush up. That's not an issue. Again, you will get a better idea. As soon as you will start creating the cases, then you will create from your side, right? And what's your proceeding in the sessions when we will create the things from our side? For example, when we have to create the rules. Till now, I haven't created in rule. I only created this one, SLA, right? I showed you one SLA. For example, this one I go to create. Let's create one. I selected this insurance, right? Why I selected this one? Because this one we are creating for this insurance case type. But suppose I have to create it for the reusability. Where I will place it? I will place it inside this one. You see, life care case layer. That it doesn't matter whether today I am reusing it for insurance or tomorrow I can reuse it for any other application. Correct? That's why I can put it inside this one. For example, I am creating a logo, company's logo, then company logo should be at this level, care level. This level. We are going to create a new rule set. Then rule set we will see. Anyway, this is simple part. But tomorrow we will see. And finally, do not forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel.